coming to you live from Numancia, Aklan, in Western Visayas in the Philippines. I'm having my morning cup of coffee, my coffee with Ginno cup here, my Copico Blanca. Copico Blanca is my choice of a 3-in-1 coffee here in the Philippines. It's coffee, cream, and sugar, powder form, comes in this sachet. You just put it in your cup, put hot water, and you're good to go. You got a nice cup of coffee. I also add a little touch of French vanilla. I got this coffee mate French vanilla. It comes in like a box of 50. I still have like half a box, I think. And I get this at SNR. Many of your American products you can get at SNR. Hello, good morning, Bill. Good morning, Bill. Good to see you. I started early today. Leanna, she don't have school today, but I'm gonna take her early to Kumon today. She has Kumon twice a week, and Saturday. It seems like it works for us Saturday because it's just so hectic during the week. She gets off school like at 4 and the Kumon closes at 5, so I have to like rush her over to the Kalibo. We did Kumon like Tuesday, so I think now we're gonna start doing it Tuesday and Saturday. So at least I'm only rushing her to our Kalibo once a week and not twice a week. I was doing it like Tuesday, Thursday, Tuesday, Friday, but I think I'm gonna start doing one day Saturday and one day Tuesday. I mean, it's really helping her. Leanna goes to a public school here in Numancia and she really likes the school. She's an honor student in the school. She's the class president. But the Kumon's really helping her because Kumon is more focused on academics and I like it. Math, reading and comprehension, and English. Since Leanna started high school this year at Numancia Integrated School, I just noticed academics seems not to be the focus. You know, they're doing more like dance, more intramurals, more of those kind of things. So I'm glad that I started her with Kumon. There's another option for us next year. Maybe take her to Kalibo, to a private school in Kalibo. It's just a hassle, you know. It's gonna to take her in the morning to Kalibo, pick her up in the afternoon from Kalibo. Kalibo's still 15 minutes away, and then the morning traffic to take kids to school in Kalibo and then to pick them up, it's horrible. It's like the worst time for traffic. Everybody's like from our town in Numancia. We're kind of like the suburbs. Everybody's like rushing over to Kalibo. Motorbikes are like flying on the national highway because everybody's trying to get to work like at 7 a.m. and that's usually the private schools in Kalibo. So that's why I decided to like keep Leanna here in Numancia because we're only 1 kilometer, less than a kilometer actually from her school. So we're debating it for next year. You know, I know the education probably be better if I take her to private school in Kalibo, but now I think the Kumon balances it out. At least the Kumon helps her, but Kumon is an extra expense for us. It's about 4,300 a month, so about $80 a month is what we're spending on Kumons. But she's learning, so I think we're getting our money's worth as long as she's learning. Derek, aloha from Hawaii. All right, Derek. Thank you for joining the live stream this morning. I'm just gonna like get this done out of the way early. You know, been cleaning up here, getting set up, and then I'll take Leanne early to the Kumon, so we'll be done hopefully with Kumon like maybe at 9:30 today. McCoy, hello Ginno, McCoy71, hello, thank you for joining the live stream. I get that creamer by the gallon. I know, Bill. When I was in the U.S., you know, they came in like, it's the same color, like light blue, kind of blue color, but it came like in a container. I know they probably had the giant one. It's my favorite too when I was in the U.S. They don't have that though. They don't have that here. Rarely, even at SNR. You know, that's why I ended up getting like this little packets. Brian, hey, good morning, Brian, my good friend in Galveston County, Texas. Hello, Brian. Good morning, host. Good morning, host. Kalibo Aklan po ba? Yes. We live in Numancia. Numancia is kind of like the suburbs of Kalibo. We live 5 kilometers. Our house here, I measured it on Google Maps. We're 3 miles away from Kalibo, the bridge. Numancia and Kalibo Bridge. J-Boy, good morning, Ginno. Good morning, J-Boy. Lenora said hi. All right, all right. I always do the weather. It's like everybody seems to be interested in the weather in the Philippines. That's why I do a weather report on the live stream. We've been getting rain all day yesterday. Pretty much was raining all night. It's raining, and this morning it's not raining, but it's wet. A little sprinkle. I'll show you later what it looks like outside. No typhoon though. There's no typhoon in the Philippines. This is just one of the reasons is it's called the Intertropical Conversion Zone, ITCZ, and the other is Northeast Monsoon, which is the Amihan season. There's two seasons here depending on the wind direction and the Habagat and Amihan. Right now, we're now in the Amihan season. Visayas, Mindanao, Mimaropa, cloudy skies with scattered rains and thunderstorms. The Cagayan region, the northern Luzon area, cloudy skies with light rains. Ilocos region, partly cloudy. And then Metro Manila, partly cloudy to cloudy skies with isolated rain showers and thunderstorms. So pretty much the entire country, it's going to be it's going to be wet today. It's raining pretty much the entire Philippines today. All right. And today I usually have a topic that way, if there's no comments, sometimes I don't get many comments, especially this early. I know the time change in the United States. I know, let me see what time it is there. I don't remember. Oh, okay. It's on my other phone, but the world, let me see. Let me just look real quick here what time it is, like let's say in Los Angeles. That way I have an idea. Yeah, like in Los Angeles, 2:20 p.m. Wow, it really did change. The time did really change because right now 6:20 here. So in Los Angeles it's 2:20. So in the East Coast it'll be around 5:20. So people are just getting off work. So now at least I have an idea what time it is. Like I'll put in here another one would be Boston because Boston, I have friends in Boston. So that's right, 5:20 p.m. in Boston. My good friend Charlie Latz in Boston. Hermilo Cervantes. Hi, good morning. I subscribed and I just woke up. All right, thank you. Thank you for the subscription. Appreciate that, my friend. HD, greetings and salutations, HD. It's early for some people. Yes, that's what I figure. I was looking at the times. I got it now. I put it on my clock here. 2:21 in Los Angeles, 5:21 p.m. in Boston, which is okay. It's like, I like doing the live stream random. I like doing it at different times. Usually I do them at 7:30, sometimes 6:30. Today a little bit early than 6:30. I like doing it random. I like going with the flow. I don't like schedules. That's one thing I don't like. It's like I've been retired 14 years, and that's one of the luxuries of retirement. Is you just kind of go with the flow. You wake up when you want to wake up. You do things when you want to do things. If you don't want to do anything, that's also an option. I mean, I could just like yesterday, it was raining all day yesterday, right? So Dazzle and I, we pretty much stayed home, and we love Breaking Bad. Gus Fring, I'm always like, people telling me I look like Gus Fring. So we started Breaking Bad again. I think for the fifth or sixth time we've seen the whole series. So season 1, we finished season 1 yesterday all the way till I went to bed. we're done with season one of Breaking Bad. It goes a lot quicker when you get it on Netflix because the episodes are only like 40 minutes. So and then you get in, oh, I don't remember that scene. I don't remember that scene. It's like, but now we're today. If we have more time, if it rains again today, if it's another lazy day today, we'll watch season 2 today. Joy, hey, John Vasquez with the alien. All right. Thank you for joining the live stream. That's part of security training in the military. Don't be predictable. Yes, right. I actually live by that. I still keep that in mind, HD. Even with Leanna, when I pick her up, I don't pick her up at the same time. I don't drop her up at the same time. Everything I do, I don't do every. When you're on a clock, when you're in a schedule, you don't. Especially here in the Philippines, you don't realize it. It's like people go to work at 7, they leave the house at 6:45. You get on that routine, and military, we're trained not to do that. We're trained to deviate from different times because you can be observed by somebody and somebody can track your routine. You don't want to be predictable. Peanut butter travels. Hello. HD, not sure if you remember that. I always, man, 20 years in the military, it teaches you things, right? It teaches you things, staying at hotels, everything. 4 years, my last job in the military, I worked in medical readiness. I taught a class on force protection. So all the medical people that worked at Misawa Air Base, they got their force protection training from me. So I know force protection. I know how to protect myself. That's why over the years, I've always kept myself safe here, my family safe here. I've never been a victim of crime in the Philippines in my 14 years here. But my military background, that's why I always observe people. I'm not one of those people where I go to a restaurant, I go to the mall, and I have my head down, not looking at people. I'm observing everybody. If somebody looks shady, kind of scruffy looking, I'm staring right at them. It's like I pay attention to my surroundings. I'm never caught off guard. I protect my car. I lock my car. I don't keep anything in my car. No, we don't leave bags, backpacks, nothing. You can go inside my car and there's nothing in it for you to steal. Not even a radio, because they don't really have a radio now. It's kind of like on the dash. You can't really, I don't know if you can really, that's not a thing anymore, right? Stealing a radio from a car, because you got to demolish the whole dash now to get the radio out of the car. There's nothing to steal in my car. Maybe the the lug wrench, maybe the jack. You might be able to take that, but we do not leave anything in our car. We always lock it. I do all the security checks, just because of habit. Like I said, 14 years here in the Philippines, I've never gotten pickpocketed. I've never gotten anything stolen from me. Not gonna happen to me. I'm so observant, I guess because when I'm walking around, even at the mall, I'm always looking at people. If I get bumped by somebody, I grab them. It's like that's just my natural reaction. You bump me, I'm grabbing you, because I'm like, hey, did you pick something from me? That's just the way I am. Kuma. Hi, good morning. Terry in the islands. Hi, Ginno. Hope is well with the family. But I want to know, in a previous video, you and Dazzle were at 7-Eleven and she bought donut, a hot dog, and Lucasine bun. Did she eat it? Yes, she really eat it. Why would she not eat it? It's like, especially when she's hungry. Especially when she's hungry. I think the show pao she split with Leanna, because by the time she ate the donut, by the time she had the hot dog, she was full to eat the show pao. So she only ate half the show pao. So Leanna's kind of like whatever gets left over her. Can I have it? She's always eager to eat anything. Does mom watch Breaking Bad as well? No, I think mom, you haven't seen Breaking Bad, right? You don't. No, not yet. Yung miniseries, yeah. She doesn't. Mom usually watches Korean drama, Chinese drama, horror, Filipino horror. She's not into the American TV series, because it's hard to understand. It's even for Dazzle, when we were first when we first got married, when we first moved in here, when we would watch movies, half the time I have to pause movies and I have to explain to Dazzle, like, with Breaking Bad. For us, for us Americans, it just comes natural. Oh, you can pick up things on Breaking Bad, but I have to explain to Dazzle, especially like the slang, right? Like when they start talking about, yayo. What's a yayo? Yayo is cocaine. Things like that. It's like Dazzle won't know that. Dazzle won't know that language. Like the street language. So I have to like explain to Dazzle like. Different parts. I have to pause the movie, explain it. But we've watched Breaking Bad so many times now that Dazzle, she gets it now. And then she's been around me now. She's been married to me 9 years now. So she's getting more and more Americanized, getting more and more, she understands more about the American culture. Good AM, Dazzle fam and the Panay posse. All right, Fortune. Good morning. Hello, Fortune. Good AM, HD, and Peanut Butter Travels. Daniel, good morning, Daniel. My good friend in Jacksonville, Florida. Bruce, wishing all a great weekend. Yes, a great weekend. And tonight, we're going to have this event here. I remember I was telling you guys, like, opening of lights, those kind of things. I do know it's not proper language. Somebody always makes that point. It's not opening of lights. It's turning off and turning on. Somebody's always a smart ass. It's like that tells me that. But here in the Philippines, they call it opening of lights. And tonight, I got an invitation. Look at this. Camellia, our place here in Camellia, they've been decorated, the entrance of Camellia. They've been putting lights and everything. So tonight is our opening of lights. Right there, it says the Camellia Nationwide Christmas Tree Lighting Event, Saturday, November 15 at 5:30. So tonight I got an invitation. So right in front of 7-Eleven, I'm gonna film it tonight. They got a program here. They got start of the proper kids craft. They're gonna have kids craft. Should be fun. I know they were setting up tents because it's raining, so they're setting up tents there. So I'm sure they're gonna have like some type of bazaar, and then they're gonna, for the first time, they're gonna turn on the lights at the entrance of Camellia. They have a nice decoration, their Christmas tree, reindeer, Santa Claus, you name it. So tonight's the night. It's like, and November 15, it's not too bad, right? People are saying they celebrate the Christmas here in September, but here in our community, they started on November 15. So tonight, I'm going to be able to film that tonight. It's going to be challenging this January during the dinner, and so many people. Yeah, for me, I know for you, HD, it's gonna be challenging. I know it's gonna be your first ati-atian here in Calibo. For us, this is like, I've been here 14 years. It's like we actually look forward to ati-atian. We know what streets to avoid. We know where to park. I normally don't drive my car to go to Calibo. We always use Bumblebee because Bumblebee is easy to get in and out of Calibo. I can park it on the sidewalk even in Calibo. Not a problem to find parking for Bumblebee. But if you have a car like your truck, HD, it's hard. It's hard to find parking during that time. The whole Pastrana area, if you're coming off the bridge from Numancia to Rojas Avenue, the right side going to like Pastrana Park, all that's gonna be blocked off. All the way to the Petron, McDonald's, all that. You can't make a right at any of those streets. Everything's gonna be a left. And then when you make a left, you're gonna park a good distance and then walk over to the ati-atian festivity. It's just the way it is. It's like there's just the number of people in Calibo. It's insane. It's insane how many people are in Calibo for ati-atian. We're talking at least 20 times the number of people from all over the country, all over the world. Kulas is always becoming Filipinos always here. There's several vloggers from everywhere that come to ati-atian during that time. A lot to film, a a lot of craziness. Like you said there, we got some crazy, a lot of craziness happens during Atiatian, but it's always fun and safe, and safe. One thing the Atiatian is proud of every year, you get drunks, of course. You can't avoid that because the it's like the Mardi Gras of the Philippines. So when you're doing Mardi Gras, people are drinking in the morning, in the noon, afternoon, evening. So you're gonna have drunks, but it's just one of the safest festivals in the Philippines because they have an army of police here in Calibo during Ati-Atihan. Not just the police from Aklan province, but they recruit from Iloilo, from Capiz, from Antique, even from Bacolod, from Negro. I mean, there's like a massive amount of police during Ati-Atihan here. They actually have like a field here at the PNP station in Nuboswang, a big field, and they have like I guess before that Ati-Atihan starts, all the police officers that are on uniform, they line them up. Man, it's like a battalion. It's like a battalion of troops. It's like they're invading, they're invading Afghanistan or landing in Kuwait or something. It's just like I've never seen that many police in one area, and they deploy all the police in Cali because they don't want to have an incident. Ati-Atihan is a big event for our province, not just for Calibo but for Aklan province. So they do not want an incident to happen. So very strict. It's like you can't carry a backpack inside the where the festivities, where the parades happen, because you never know, somebody might carry a bomb or something like that. You can't even carry a pen. You have checkpoints where you got to empty your pockets. Very strict. Very that to keep it safe. But fun time for people in Aklan province because they're gonna have concerts at Pastrana Park, at Magsaysay Park, concerts by this year I think at the Esplanade, Lambingan Beach, by the Capitol area. Famous singers in the Philippines. At one time, the K-pop's pretty big here. They even came to Calibo for that. I don't know. There's always a surprise person, celebrity that come. I know one celebrity that's really popular right now in the Philippines. His name is Elias, Elias. He's one guy. He does dance or something, sings, and he went here for opening salvo. So I'm sure he's gonna be back during the Ati-Atihan festival. It's just there was like thousands of people were at Pastrana Park for his concert during opening salvo. We got some crazy rain this morning, spotty weather today. Yes, right now it stopped, but it was raining around, I think about 3 a.m. It was torrential rain here in Numancia. JP, good morning, Ginno and the Pasi. All right, JP, Daniel and JP from HD. Filipinos love to eat. That's true. I would agree with that, J-Boy. If you date a Filipina, the Filipinos love to eat. It's like, I think that's one of the national pastimes here. Not just Filipinas, but Filipinos. Filipinos just love to eat. I mean, people go here to the big malls. I know in Manila, Cebu, Iloilo, the big malls here, the SM City Mall, the gigantic malls here, it's basically go there to eat food. And I mean, they got so many restaurants. The food courts here are always packed. That's not a dynamic anymore in the U.S., most malls in the U.S. are closing. People don't want to go to the malls anymore. People shop online in the U.S. for, people got no time. People don't have time for the mall in the U.S. Whereas here, the mall is an event here. You spend the whole day at the mall. Like when we go to Iloilo City, Dazzle and I, Liana, we stay the whole day at the mall. We'll get there when the mall opens at 9 and we'll stay there till evening time. That's just how it is here. People enjoy the mall here. There's so much to do at the mall. They got games at the mall, video games, you name it. Everything's at the mall. Movie theater, IMAX, of course, shopping for Dazzle and Leanna. They love the SM City Iloilo Mall. Daniel, JP and HD. All right. Good AM, Daniel, JP from Fortune. JP says HD, Daniel, Fortune. John B and Peanut Butter Travels. It was hard to drive in Calibo yesterday. Must be the rain or maybe flooding. You know, I know Calibo, it doesn't take much to like areas in Calibo gets flooded. Like usually like the public market area, and then by the capital area, by they call it crossing Banga. When we used to go to school at SCI College Calibo, now there's certain areas that gets flooded easy, causes traffic when it gets flooded. Crazy drivers. Well, that you're always gonna get that. Crazy drivers in Calibo, and mostly the tricycles. The tricycles is what I have to watch, and of course the motorbikes. You got to be careful with the motorbikes here, HD. Hello, everyone. Hey, Thriving Expat, my good friend in Masbate Island, Michael White. Good morning, my friend. Fortune, wow, nationwide. So that's done by the property developer. Yeah, I guess so. I guess so, Fortune, because that's what it says here. The Camellia Nationwide Christmas tree lighting event, November 15. And it looks all official, man. This invitation, like I guess all the homeowners in my neighborhood got this invitation. Grand open house, it says here. Home buyers promo will bring home. Oh, there's Christmas gifts too. Wow, there's gonna be like Christmas gifts too to be given away. Definitely, I'm gonna be definitely filming that and checking that out. See my neighbors too. It'd be nice to see my neighbors, hang out with them tonight. Good AM, Mike. All right, Ford TE from Daniel. Tribing Expat. All right, JP, I can't stay too long. Headed to work to drop off some shirts and all right, JP. Thank you for joining the live stream really quick though. Appreciate it, JP. I saw them decorate the front of Camellia this past few days. I know I've been they've been like really fixing it up front. I guess because of the event today. Hello, Sergeant HD, Kuma, and Peanut. Howdy, Thriving HD. Hello, Michael. Hi, Lenora, Anchi, J-Boy. All right. Take the new click to the event. Oh, yeah, it's walking distance. We're so close to the gate. I feel bad. You know, I feel lazy if I take the bike or anything over there. We're so close. We're like 50 yards away from the gate. You know, it's like, hello. Hey, Manila Gorilla. All right, hello all. All right, please like and subscribe for my call. I said, hi, Manila. Hit or the balut will get you. The balut will get you. Hey, JP, please don't forget to give a thumbs up. All right. The PNP Regional Police Office for Western Visayas will send reinforcement to help the Aklan Provincial Police. Oh, yeah, man. It's an army, man. It's like, and what's nice, you'll see it, Fortune. They wear like a vest, and it'll say there, Bacolod PNP. It'll say, copies PNP, you know, so they're not just in Aklan province. They're like they want all the festivities to go well. And the past few years, no incidents at all. You know, like I said, you're gonna have drunks, but what they do with the drunks when they like pass out or they make a fool of themselves on the road, while walking, they have like those multi-cab, and they just throw them in there, man. It's like they throw them in there. And then when the multi-cabs are full, they lock them in the multi-cab. They'll take them to jail. And you always see like a line up in the jail here in Calibo jail, like people laying down, all passed out, from the festivities. But there's they protect all the people that want to just have fun. Please subscribe. Thank you, Thriving Expat. Then there will be Bureau of Fire Protection. Yep, you got that. You got Philippine Army Division. It's just an army, man. I'm amazed every time because, like I said, Fortune, they'll have like, I guess like a flag ceremony, and then somebody's the big boss, whoever the general is going to speak, and you just like, man, it's like a battalion of like police, all in uniform, all lined up, and he'll give them a pep talk. Hey, let's make this a successful atiatihan, protect so it's really cool. It's really cool to see. I'll try to film it this year. I'll try to go to the PNP. How are you liking your stay? I don't arrive until Christmas. Yes. It's getting close now. I forgot the countdown now because I haven't been to the mall. Here in Calibo or any malls in the Philippines, like Iloilo's the same. There's usually, before you enter the mall, there's like a countdown of like 40 days before Christmas. There's always a countdown that you'll see. I think it's about 40 days to Christmas. Raining hard here in Bacoor, but no storm. Same here, earlier this morning, fortunately, about 2 or 3 a.m. It was pouring. It woke me up earlier than usual because I was like, it hits the metal roof, and I was like, ooh, that's a lot of rain. A lot of rain. You save house. Yeah. Everybody goes to the mall here because to cool off, especially during the summer months. That's why there's so many people at the mall, March, April, and May. It's like you just chill at the mall because they got nice AC, nice AC at the mall. You don't have to sweat so much in your house. We had rain a lot yesterday on the way to Masbate City. Then it stopped and no rain all day. But it started when we got back to our village and rained a lot last night. Same year, Michael. It rained all night here, pretty much. That is why many go to the mall here. Save AC. HD, they added the poles in the middle of the street across Pastrana Park. Yeah, that's the poles is like bamboo poles, like tall bamboo poles. At least I would say, gotta be 10, 15 feet high banner. It's the banners of Atiatihan is what HD is talking about. The Santo Niño usually is there, and it's colorful. Got that, like the Ati, the massive. They'll put that all over Calibo. It's kind of, it's a barrier. It's kind of like you gotta like maneuver around it. It does cost. Hopefully not many people knock it down, but. They also made one of the area of the Pastrana Park one way. Oh, that happens. That happens even before Atiatihan, because when they erect those things, a lot of streets in Calibo will be like one way detour, confusing, very confusing. So you just got to know, you got to learn the streets. HD, tight and packed. Made it hard to drive around. Yeah, especially you got a truck, your truck's pretty long. Like for me, not too bad, because the Wigo's tiny, man. That's why I like the Toyota Wigo. It kind of like gets me in and out. And then, between the structure they're erecting, the detour, tricycles, going left, right, like U-turn. You know how crazy the tricycles are here. It is challenging to maneuver. It takes a while to get used to it. Me, I'm just used to it, HD. I've been driving here in Calibo for like 10 years now. So for me, I just take my time. And when there's too much confusion, when there's so many people crossing, so many tricycles, I just stop. And I just let everybody through, and then I go my way. I'm never in a hurry. It's like, why would I be in a hurry? There's no hurry for me to get to anywhere. I'm retired. Definitely walk then. Definitely walk. Yes, during Atiatihan especially, forget about driving in Calibo during the Atiatihan. You might be able to, HD, you might have to take from Numancia, take the back way to the longest bridge in Panay Island, to Tigayon, and you might be able to park like at the Capitol area where the governor's office is. But from there, you're gonna have to walk anywhere in Calibo during Atiatihan. That's just the way it is. It's just with all the parades, all the revelry, all the things going on in Calibo. You don't. The worst thing you could do is drive through Calibo during Ati-Atihan and get stuck in traffic. It's like, it's a nightmare. It's a nightmare. J-Boy, will there be street food or food trucks at the opening of lights? For the town of Numancia, when we have our opening of lights, probably the first week of December. For Calibo, yes, there's always a lot of food, For our Christmas tree lighting, I'm sure there'll be some, but it's not like the town. It's not like when our town of Numancia, they haven't announced it yet. Usually, like I said, the first week of December, it's a big event for our town. I mean, it's a big event. That's why I even told HD he needs to go to the opening of lights in Numancia, because we have a giant tree in Numancia. There's gonna be food. There's gonna be a lot of booths designed, like they'll, the baby Jesus, the Mary, all the nativity scene, all that. They'll arrange that in our plaza area, and then there's a Christmas caroling contest, like the different barangays. HD is in Barangay Albasan. I'm sure they're practicing right now their Christmas songs, American Christmas songs, Filipino, Aklano Christmas songs, and they compete. They compete at our town plaza. Big event here. A lot of people. The groups. Group of 15, 20 people. They're all dressed in Christmas outfits. They're singing like a cappella sometimes. I mean, it's just a big event. I filmed it last year, so if you look back on my Numancia videos, you'll see it last year. But I'm always excited to attend it every year in Numancia. And the one in Calibo is even bigger because, Numancia's got about 30,000 people. Calibo's got over 100,000. So it's a bigger event in Calibo. But it's almost synonymous here, J-Boy, when there's an occasion here, opening a lights, anything, ati-atihan, it's almost synonymous. There's gonna be a lot of food, a lot of not just your regular fish ball, not just your regular fried food, but like this time of the year, there's gonna be bibingka, there's gonna be puto bongbong, seasonal food that comes out during the holiday season. That's why it's so much fun here during the holiday season. Lots to do. You're not gonna be bored here during the holiday season. Where are you from? I'm from Numancia, Aklan in Western Visayas in the Philippines. Definitely, J-Boy, Pinoys love to party and eat. Love to eat. That's what it is, man. Love to party and eat. Who is she in your background? Oh, that's mom. That's Dazzle's mom. She's just getting ready. I think she has somewhere to go today, so she's... Does Dazzle know how to cook turkey for Thanksgiving? We have not cooked turkey for Thanksgiving. And the reason is we don't really have like the butterball, the whole turkey that I can get at the grocery here. I would have to go to like SNR and get one if I wanted to cook a turkey. Now, there are turkeys here, like free range turkeys I've seen, but they're kind of skinny. It's kind of like the native chicken that you see the roosters running around. They're not plump. You know how when you cook a turkey, man, you want that turkey to be like robust. You want it to be like plump, a lot of meat. Man, the turkeys here, man, look skinny. Man, the ones that I see roaming around, like here in Numancia. But so we've never really cooked turkey. Usually for Thanksgiving, we just go out. We go out to a nice restaurant. This year, on Thanksgiving Day, we're gonna have a get together with our expat friends at the 8 Ball Tavern. They open at 3, and I already made reservation. 14 people so far are attending, so we're gonna have at the 8 Ball Tavern. They got American food there. They got beer. They got imported beer, imported alcohol. 2 pool tables. So should be a lot of fun. I invited James and Karen Adventures. They're invited. The Colonel said he's attending. He's coming from Iloilo. Colonel Chronicles is his YouTube channel. So it should be fun. Looking forward to spending Thanksgiving with them. Because really here, it's really the expats and Americans that celebrate Thanksgiving. It's not a Filipino holiday. Thanksgiving is an American holiday. So Filipinos, They don't know what Thanksgiving is. It's like they have an idea what Thanksgiving is, but they don't celebrate it. They don't cook turkey. They don't have stuffing. They don't have a cranberry sauce and all that. But there's areas here that would do that in the cities, mostly Manila, Cebu City. They'll have places that will serve you like a turkey dinner. But not really popular, actually. Turkey is not a popular meat here. I've never really seen turkey here in a restaurant. I've never seen turkey here in the public market. They don't sell turkey in the public market, but I do see them, alive and moving. Most of the turkeys that I see here, you'll have farms here in Numancia, and you just see them roaming around. I actually filmed one day because I was like, ooh, turkey. And I was just filming it. I'll probably publish it one of these days. And I saw like 6 turkeys just walking out in the field. But like I said, they look skinny. They don't look plump. They don't look like appetizing to eat. Because I'm looking, man, even the turkey leg look kind of skinny. What kind of, you like a turkey leg is kind of like, one of my favorite things, right? When I was in the U.S., when you go to like a county fair or something, you always have a turkey leg, and it's usually a big leg. And I'm looking at the turkeys they got here. They don't look like they got like a nice leg to cook, man. Mike, how long is travel from Bulad to Masbate City? Eugene Villanueva, good morning, friend. Like is done. Thank you, Eugene. Appreciate that. It's only 40 days. All right, 40 days. I figure around 40 days. Everyone, sending support, everyone. All right, thank you, Eugene. HD, if someone could cook deep fried turkey this Thanksgiving, that would be something I would like to taste. Again, we deep fried turkey in the driveway. Yes, I've done that. I used to do it when I lived in, that was big in Louisiana. Cajun fried turkey. When I lived 4 years, I lived in Louisiana. That was pretty big. They got that big peanut oil. They used to cook it in peanut oil, in that giant peanut oil thing. But you got to be careful with that, man. Careful with that. People burn their houses cooking it. That's why you have to cook it in the driveway. That's why you have to cook it outside, because I've seen disasters when they cook that. Because the mistake that most commonly made by people is they deep fry the turkey and the turkey is still frozen. That's the worst thing you could do in hot oil, So you got to defrost it first, inject it with the seasonings, and then put it on the peanut oil. But I don't know if they do it on purpose, but you always see it on YouTube, like disasters frying a whole turkey. Hello, all. How goes? All right, Rapid Farmer. I was just chatting with him last night while he was at work. He's a nurse. In the U.S. All right, man. Good to see you. Good to see you in the live stream. McCoy, we are out. It's time to sleep here in Germany. All right. Take care. Thank you for stopping by. Thank you for stopping by in the live stream, McCoy. Rabbit. What's up, Ginno? Turkeys, we do caldereta or lechon turkey. My uncle did that on his farm. We roasted turkeys lechon. Yeah, I just haven't seen that done here, like in Aklan province. I attend parties here, fiestas. I just have not seen like turkey lechon or anything like that. Mostly I see lechon, but not turkey. I guess, Filipinos, I guess they don't have a taste for turkey, because if they do, it would be on the menu. It's hard to find turkey in any I've not seen it in a restaurant here. My many years here, 14 years, I've never seen it on the menu, even in Boracay Island. It's like, I guess it's just not meat that most people eat. But SNR do sell the butterball turkey if you go to SNR and get it from there. Night. Just me and my mom in Nebraska this Thanksgiving. I will do smoked butterball turkey. Just warm and eat. Yep, man. I love turkey, man. It's like when I was in the U.S., with I'll eat the leftovers even. I love eating it, making sandwiches out of it. We will have the colonel scout the. Oh yeah, that's right. The colonel can scout the turkeys for us. Sounds good. Sounds good, JB. Sounds good. We'll have more time next year, and then more people. There will be more expats here in Calibo. We're gonna have more people coming here. So next year we might have a bigger Thanksgiving. So might be we might be able to cook it since the colonel can scout the turkey at the SNR for us. Deep fried turkey is the bomb. It's a fire. Yeah, it's a fire hazard. So you got to do it. Away from the house. You got to know what you're doing. I've seen it. I've seen it. Like I said, I lived in Louisiana for 4 years, so I've seen like accidents happen with the Cajun fried turkey. But they sell it. I've seen it at SNR. The big container. It's like a long stainless steel and then the burner on the bottom. They do sell it. They do. I mean, SNR pretty much anything in America that you see, even the barbecue grills, the smokers, the deep fryers. They got it all at SNR. Because Iloilo, there's just more and more expats, more and more Americans living in Iloilo City. So they know there's a demand. There's a demand. Like when I go, and then what I noticed with SNR, even their furniture at SNR, like the reclining chair, reclining couch, reclining chair. Americans love that. They're actually cheaper, the American product that comes from the US at SNR than the ones they sell locally here. And the quality is like night and day. The American furniture just looks better quality. The Filipino brands that I see at City Mall Calibo, I wouldn't buy it because I'm like looking at the material. It looks flimsy. It looks like it doesn't look sturdy. But the one at SNR, the reclining chairs at SNR, they're nice. They're nice. Some of them leather. And it's the same ones that exact same thing that you can buy at Costco. They just pretty much everything that you see in Costco, they just moved it here to the Philippines because there's a market for it. One thing about Americans that I've learned is like Americans are spoiled, man. Americans love their luxury, right? Americans will spend money on like a coffee mate. Like a big gallon of coffee mate for $12, $15, not a problem, right? Because there's certain things that, man, you gotta have. You gotta have. Hey, I'm not mad at Americans, and that's why SNR, that's why Landers, that's why those places here in the Philippines are like exploding because it's like, and not just Americans, Filipinos love SNR. It's like, more than half of the people there are Filipinos, and you should see the carts that Filipinos be pushing at SNR. There's like mountains of the cart is gigantic anyway. It's not a regular grocery cart, right? It's a warehouse type thing, and man, they're like stacking that American here, Filipinos here. They love any American products. It's not just like you're thinking, well, there's a lot of expats there. Majority of the customers when you go at SNR here, they're Filipinos. JP, I used to have a turkey deep fryer and use the pot to cook big batch. Oh, I know. You're I know that pot would be perfect for tamales too. I am RT, not nurse. Oh, all right. RT, respiratory therapist. My bad. I was thinking nurse. My bad there, rabbit farmer. I gave my landlord the moving out notice today. All right, congrats, JB. She is retired military and will be looking for Dazzle TV. All right. Thank you, JB. Turkey and cranberry sandwich. Oh, I know, right, J-boy? That's like, all right. I do have a topic. I got to the bottom. I do have a topic. That's why I always try to have a topic just in case, there's no comments for me to answer. And today my topic, let me see here. Oh, I sent it. I emailed it to myself, so I got to save it on the phone here real quick. There we go. Ooh, there's a picture too I gotta share with you guys. I saw this picture about the Iloilo Esplanade. The Esplanade's really nice. You know, every time I'm in Iloilo City, I always make a point. I go in the Esplanade. The Esplanade is about 13, 14 kilometers right on the river, right on Iloilo River. And there's just an article I read. I read this article yesterday. It says, Iloilo Esplanade, recognized as the country's most successful river rehabilitation project. And if you go to Iloilo City, that's a must stop. It's the Esplanade, and when you see it, you're gonna be amazed. You're gonna say, "Wow, this is like amazing how they built that right on the river." People jog, people ride their bikes, people go fishing, and it's a long stretch, both sides of Iloilo River, and it was recognized as one of the most successful river rehabilitation. And I always tell this on the channel anyway. If you're looking for a city to move to, I always tell people Iloilo City to me is the best city in the Philippines. It's not overcrowded yet. The nicest people, the cleanest, one of the cleanest city here, one of the safest city, most bicycle friendly. You're not gonna find a more bicycle friendly city here in the Philippines. Besides Iloilo City. All right, my topic today. My topic today is people that struggle in retirement in the Philippines. This is just my observation, my personal observation of the ones that I see that struggle sometimes when they retire here in the Philippines. For one, I always say the Philippines is not for everyone. There's other countries. There's so many countries where you can retire. You really have to do your research before you decide on the Philippines. Even in Southeast Asia, you got Vietnam, you got Cambodia, you got Thailand. If you're in the U.S., you got Mexico, Panama, Colombia. There's many places where you can spend your retirement years. So, and I always tell this: it's not for everyone because the Philippines. You know, there's some things that takes a lot of adjustment, and there's people that never adjust. You know, I know that. There's just people that come here, you know, maybe their expectation is high about the Philippines, and when they get here, they focus on like the negatives instead of like they're retired now, they can relax. But, you know, not everybody's the same. You know, there's just people that if they're uptight in the U.S., if they're stressed, if they're like a worry person, you know, that's the Philippines is not going to cure that. You know, if you weren't happy in the country where you're living, the Philippines is not the cure. You know, it's like I always say that to people. You know, it's like you have to be happy wherever you are. You know, a lot of the people that I see successful in moving here, they were happy at the location where they were at. You know, America, let's say. They were happy in America. It's just that they wanted to try something different. They've lived most of their life in America. Now they're coming here. They just wanted to find an adventure, something new in their life, right? And then, of course, you know, it's always the female. It's always the Filipina. That's always like the attraction to the passport bros, the single people coming here to the Philippines because, you know, for most of them that I talk to, they just say it's almost impossible now to date in America. That's why they come here to the Philippines for at least a chance to date a normal person. A normal person. JP, I have to run. All right, JP, have you watched? Yes, I've watched Filipina P. I've subscribed to her at one point, but she doesn't do as many videos as she used to. But you know, a lot of vloggers go through my feed, and I'll watch them if the topic interests me. But I don't like watch every single video because I don't have time. You know, it's like between my channel, between the live stream of videos I make. You know, I have friends that I support, James and Karen's Adventure, the Thriving Expat, the Colonel Ray in the Philippines. I have so many friends on YouTube that I got to support their channel first. But, you know, Filipina P, she's already rich and she's already got the money. She don't need my support. I'm a lowly vlogger here. J-Boy, for you looking back, what was the hardest thing for you to adjust to? Looking back, the hardest thing for me to adjust to, I really can't think of anything. It was a easy for me, easy adjustment because it was just me. When I moved here, I was by myself. I was single. I came here with a backpack and a suitcase, so I was pretty mobile. I wasn't stuck at. I wasn't dating anybody. I didn't have a LDR. I was free and clear, man. I just like, when I landed in the Philippines 14 years ago, I was just happy to be free. I was just happy to have my freedom. Not just from work. I was retired, no more work. I was just free from everything that burdened me when I was living in the U.S. Expectations about me when I was living in the U.S. My mom had expectations for me, my relatives. When you're a Filipino American, and my Filipino Americans can relate to this, when we're growing up in the U.S., there's pressure on us to like succeed. You're always like being told like, you got this opportunity, you can't mess up this opportunity. Not everybody can come to America. So we were always trying to do our best, to like please our parents, please my mom, my relatives. Everybody's always has a judgment of you. For me, I was relieved of all that when I left. Of course, not most of my relatives in the U.S., even friends, didn't support me moving to the Philippines. But I was just happy to like unload all that, and I started my life here. So to me, the minute I landed in Boracay Island, after living in Boracay for like 3 months, just riding my mountain bike everywhere in Boracay, running front beach, snorkeling, swimming every day. I was just like, man, to me, it was the life. I was free, finally free from all the like expectations of all the burdens in my life. It's like, what about something you didn't expect living there? Good and bad. Expect, man, these are tough questions. It's like I gotta think. Okay, good and bad. Didn't expect. For me, I expected pretty much a lot of the things that were here just because I'm Filipino American. I was 12 when I left the Philippines to go to America, and I was stationed at Clark for 3 years. I was at Clark Air Base, Angeles City in the Philippines. So I lived in the Philippines before. There's really nothing that surprised me about the Philippines because I'm Filipino. So the good and the bad. I knew everything about the Philippines. Even I knew the corruption here and the bureaucracy in government, the waiting. Yeah, I really can't. Good or bad, I really can't. That sticks out. That sticks out to me. I really can't. Maybe when I think about it more, not spot on like on the live stream, I'll write it down, pros and cons. Maybe I take a picture. I might do a video, man. Thank you for the idea on the video. Because sometimes I can't just like think it off like on the top of my head. I gotta like think it through. I'm gonna take a picture of it. That way I'll do it. I'm gonna make a video about it. I like your question. Hardest thing to adjust, and then something you didn't expect. So I'll make a video. Watch out for that video, man. I'll make the video for you. Any advice for a 21-year-old? 21-year-old, man, you're a long way, brother. If you're thinking about coming to the Philippines, you're a long way. Make your money in the U.S. Save your money. Don't waste your money. Don't waste your money on nonsense. If I can speak to my 21-year-old self in the past, if I could talk to you, I would say save. Don't waste a lot of money on nonsense. And probably stay single as long as you can. Stay single as long as you can, because at 21, just enjoy being single, because once you get married, then it's another life. It's another life. And then living in the U.S., with divorce in the U.S., the rate of divorce in the U.S., stay single as long as you can. If you could make one change of your move to the Philippines back then, what would you do differently? What would I do differently? I can't think of anything HD. I honestly can't, because like for me, it all worked out. It all worked out. I mean, I picked the right place for me. It was Boracay Island was the perfect place for me, because when I landed there, it was just so I was just so happy. It's like walking the beach of Boracay. Maybe that's why. My one recommendation I would tell people when they move here for the first time: go to a place that you really love. Go to a place where you really like. I've been to Boracay before, so for me, it was always in the back of my mind. Man, if I ever have an opportunity to live in Boracay, I'm gonna do it. And so when I moved here in 2011, that's what I did. So to me, that was already like, man, I cannot, every day when I woke up in Boracay, I could not believe it. I would like watch the sunrise, run on the beach, and I'm like, man, is this real? It was that feeling every day of like, is this real? Am I really retired and I'm on paradise? I'm living the life that I've always wanted. How many people can say that? How many, and I was always grateful. I was always grateful for that I had my 18 months in Boracay. It was just like, to me, it was like a dream, living a dream there. And people ask me all that. So why did you leave Boracay, right? For me, Boracay, it was a good landing place for me, safe, what is that? Soft landing. I had a lot of fun, met a lot of good people in Boracay. But long-term wise, it wasn't the place to be. After 18 months, I was like, it was fun, but then Boracay became ordinary, started becoming, or the beach wasn't as exciting anymore. The white sand, I guess you get, it's not the word immune, but you get used to it. You get used, and it's not special anymore. That's why I decided to move to the mainland. And now, when I visit Boracay, if you can tell, when I go to Boracay, I'm excited again. Because like, I live here in the mainland, maybe once a month, or last June, the whole month of June, Dazzle and I stay in Boracay. It's fun again. It brought back that feeling like, ooh, we're going to Boracay. It's exciting. There are so many men I met from the US with horror stories about the family court and divorce. That's what made me avoid marriage over the years. Oh yeah, I mean, that's the thing now. I mean, if like I said, the guy was 21 and is asking me for advice, right? If I had to talk to my 21-year-old self, I would tell that person, stay single as long as you can, because marriage in the U.S., not it's not fun. It's not fun. It's like, if you meet the right person, I guess it could be, but I don't see many people meeting the right person anymore, right? I mean, I don't know what the divorce rate in the US now, and when the guys get divorced in the US, they get creamed. Man, they get creamed. They lose half all their stuff. They got to pay child support. They got to pay alimony. It's like, it's horrible. So that's why I said, it's like, if my advice to a young 21-year-old, stay single as long as you can. Thanks, Ginno. All right, Boy. Good morning, Colonel, the Colonel. Hope everyone is doing well. Everything's good, Colonel. Wet this morning here. All right, let me go back to my topic since I got sidetracked there with the questions. I want to go back here. The struggle. And the struggle for the Philippines in retirement here, what I see, this is just my personal observation now. A lot of expats that come here, they're older, right? They're 50s, 60s, sometimes 70s. When they retire out, I notice a lot of them are set in their ways, right? When you're older, you had a certain way, or how you did things. When you were living in the U.S., there's a certain way you do things, certain expectations that you have about how business should be, transactions, or day-to-day conversations, or day-to-day interactions with people. Americans, they're pretty set in their ways. And that's the one thing I see they struggle here, because they get frustrated on how Filipinos do things here. It's like the rhythm of Filipino here, everything is on island time, everything is slow, everything is mañana, later. Now, what's your rush? What's your hurry? That's the opposite of what most Americans are. Most Americans, they want it done now. They want it like, I want this repaired. I want this, I want a new roof I want everything done like ASAP, like right now. Well, when you hire people here in the Philippines, they might show up on time, or sometimes they won't show up for work because if you're having something built or added to your house, do-it-yourself project in your house, they might, like I said, they might show up on time, but if they were drinking the night before, they won't come in. They won't come in. And those are the kind of things I know a lot of expats, they struggle with that. The Filipinos, they're pretty laid back, man. They're not, even though a lot of the work, that's their income, they rely on that. Is Filipinos, there's just a certain rhythm on how they do things. And then a lot of expats here, I know they get frustrated here with like the bureaucracy, the government agencies here. That's always the frustration. Land Transportation Office, sometimes the Bureau of Immigration. There are branches that are good, but there are branches that there's just not like a federal, in the U.S. a federal agency, right? Passport or something. They pretty much operate the same way. When you go to like a government agency, pretty much you can expect from the Department of Motor Vehicle the same. It doesn't matter what state you go, pretty much good service. Here, it's really hit or miss. And a lot of times, when you go to the government agencies, the way to get good help is if you know somebody. That's just the way it is here. That's how it works here. If you don't know anybody at that agency, if you got to stand in line with the rest of the people, it's going to be a struggle. And I know a lot of expats, I know they struggle with that. The waiting, you will have to have patience here. The waiting times in the Philippines, if an agency here opens at 8 and you show up at 8 because you want to get the transaction done, there's going to be a lot of people at 8 already. You could be number 50 in the line to get the number. So even if you show up at 8 in the morning, they might not talk to you or see you not until 10. And I know that is hard. That is hard for expats to handle. Like that 2-hour wait just to get to the receptionist. Just to ask a question, because there is not like a website where you can fire your questions, or a phone number, right? A person on the phone that you can talk to and get your question answered. You have to actually go to the agency and line up at the agency just to ask your question. And then what would frustrate you more is when you get there and you ask your question, oh, that person's not here today, you're gonna have to come back tomorrow. So you just wasted 2-3 hours waiting in line to get to the line, and then say the guy's not even there that you needed to talk to. I mean, that's hard. I know that's hard. That's hard to take. That's hard to take. And I know Americans, I know foreigners, they struggle with that. And then I see expats here wanting to change the process. Because the process, sometimes are ridiculously like, what is wrong with this? Like entering Boracay Island, the port at Boracay Island, just to ride the ferry from Caticlan to Boracay. That's been a constant complaint of everybody since I've been coming to Boracay, since I moved to Boracay 14 years ago. 14 years, they have not fixed that issue where you got to line up, you got to check in at the reception, show your documents, you're going to Boracay. You're just going to Boracay on a boat, but they got to like, what hotel are you staying? How long are you going to stay? How many in your party? Checking all your information. Go to window 1, pay your environmental fee. Go to window 2, pay your terminal fee. Go to window 3, pay your boat fee. And then after you get all that, you're like all confused at the port. If it's your first time, especially, and then go down that way, and then you line up and you go, oh, you're on the long line, sir. You're on the resident line. You need to be on this. It's just confusing, and they've never fixed that. And I know that frustrates a lot of people, even the people when they go to. Not as bad during this time of the year, November, because it's not as crowded. But come March, April, May in Boracay, that port, there's a line all the way out the door, and there's just mass confusion. Then there's people cutting in line. There's like these guys in uniform, tour guys that like they're dragging their foreigners because they can cut line. Just the frustration over that. I know could be challenging. And then, of course, a lot of expats, they want, is there a suggestion box? Or I need, the thing that's popular in the US, they go, I need to speak to the manager. Who's in charge of this place? That's not going to help you here. That's not going to help you here. If the person that's helping you, if you ever like get the boss or who manages like that terminal, that port, anywhere here, if that boss comes out, if it's a government agency, you do not want to be on their bad side. You just want to, if you go to a government agency here, land transportation, whatever, you just want to get your transaction, you're done, be patient, get it done. You do not want to piss off like the people in charge. If they got to come out, if the boss, the engineer, usually it's an engineer or somebody, has to come out of his office because you're making a fuss, in front of everybody there, it might not end good for you. You might be able, the transaction that day might be fixed, but there's things that happen here on the sidelines that it might not be good for you. That's why a lot of expats here, I know, get frustrated with that. And I know the ones that's lived here for many years, they know how to adjust to that. You just learn ways to to maneuver around that. Always, bring your Filipina. Bring your Filipina. If you don't have a Filipina, bring a Filipino friend. It always helps here anytime you have to deal with a government agency to know somebody inside. If you don't know anybody inside, it's like you just have to be patient. That's why for me, it's so important for me here to network. It's so important for me I don't burn any bridges here. It's like I always am polite. I'm always like humble. I always say, thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am. It's like I appreciate your assistance today. I do not make waves or anything because I know, it's like people remember you, especially if you're a foreigner, you stick out already anyway. Me, even though I'm Filipino, I kind of stick out too because I'm tall, I'm 5'10", I'm skinny, I'm always board shorts and flip-flops, and when I talk, even Tagalog, when I talk, they're Aklanon here. That's their dialect. I don't speak the dialect here. So the minute I speak Tagalog here in Aklan, they all automatically know I'm not a local. Even though I've been here 14 years now in Aklan, I'm not a local. I don't speak the dialect here. So that's why, and I understand that. That's what you got to keep in mind. Understand that you're a visitor, you're a guest, you're not one of the locals, it takes a long, 14 years now I've been living here, and I still don't feel like a local. It's like I know I let Dazzle do all the talking because she's the Aklana. She can speak the language here. I can't. All right, patient. And the thing, this topic I want to really discuss regarding the struggles of expats here or foreigners that come here. And this, I get it from my friends. My friends actually have input that told me the struggles that they have. So this first-hand account, very important here when you choose the place to retire here or move here, whether it's city, whether a province, what type of person are you? If you're like the outgoing type, if you like the nightlife, if you want fun, if you want, excitement in your life, you need to be in the city. You need to be in the city, yeah, to experience that. That's why people go to Angeles City. That's why people live in Dumaguete City, Olongapo City. Places that have bars, clubs, live bands. So, Calibo is not one of that. Calibo is not one of that. Calibo is not a city. So you have to know yourself. If you're that type of person looking for that fun, that's what you need to be looking for, a city. If you want the noise, you want the crowd, you want a lively life, that's the city here in the Philippines. Now, if you're the other person, like me now, I used to be a city person when I lived in America, but now I'm a province person now. If you want the peace and quiet, you don't want the big crowds, you don't want the bars, you don't want the noise, you're a province person. So, you got to decide that really quick before you get here, or try both. You get here, try both before you start putting down roots here. And the thing with that is, I know a lot of expats, a lot of foreigners. The main reason where they end up where they are is because of the Filipinas family, and that's understood because a lot of times the Filipina will have land, or the Filipinas family has a land compound, and you're the foreigner. You just want to make your Filipina happy, build that house and that compound so she can be around her relatives. Big sacrifice, and I understand that that's a big sacrifice for foreigners that move here. That really shows, man, you must really love your Filipina. And I'm the same way. Like, look at me. I'm living here in Aklan. This is Dazzle, where she's from. Leanna, her sister, mom, Dazzle, they live with us. I am cool with that because I love Dazzle. I want to make Dazzle happy. A happy wife, happy life. That's the way I look at it. And for me, they're not a burden. For me, they're a blessing to me because they take good care of me. All three. I live with 3 women. We have 1 bathroom. And I'm happy. Because I feel the genuine love. They take good care of me. They don't want me lifting a finger here. They're always like watching out for stuff. It's like, oh, don't let your kuya do that. Or even Leanna, she's like, kuya, I'll do that. And I like that. I like, maybe, I like that attention. I like that they take good care of me. But one thing, if you do that, if you do choose, and I've had friends in that situation, a couple actually. I have a few friends actually, not just a couple, I have a handful of friends now, where they ended up with their Filipinas compound land with the family. And a lot of the places where they landed is out in the province. And a couple of my friends that are like that, they're from the city in the United States. One is from Las Vegas, one is from Chicago, so they struggle because they're like, man, it's like, I didn't realize how hard it was gonna be. Because like, for one, when you go to like a remote province here, you're not gonna see many expats. You're not going to have that conversation with another American. Maybe some people say that initially, like, oh, I'd rather be away from expats. But after a year, after 2 years living away, and you don't have that conversation, stimulating conversation with another American, because Filipinos will speak English, but they're not going to be able to relate to you or understand your life in America. You can't joke around with them. Your sarcasm's gonna, they're not gonna understand your sarcasm. You're not gonna be able to talk sports with them. That's why a lot of these friends of mine, we chat. A lot of times we chat because like, man, it's like, I'm glad I'm able to talk to you, Ginno, because like, I know their frustration. And then, if you come from the city in the US and now you're in the province, man, you can't even find a bar. You can't even like sit down in a bar, just have a beer, watch a sports game, like a football game or a baseball game. In Numancia, it's a perfect example. We do not have a bar here. There is no sports bar here in Numancia, our town here. In Calibo there is. That's why the 8 Ball Tavern, that's a sports bar. But I got to go to Calibo. That's like 15 minutes away. But in our town, in our plaza, if I go to our plaza, there's nothing out there. Man, there's like a now we have a Andox fried chicken. That's the only fast food we have. 7-Eleven, that's kind of like the highlight. That's why the 7-Eleven is like we're always there, because that's kind of like, but there, if you're coming from that, if you're used to like that LA lifestyle, New York lifestyle, I don't think it's a hard change. It's a hard change to all of a sudden live in the province. Keep that in mind. Keep that in mind when you're, I know when you meet that Filipina LDR, you're so excited. You want to make your Filipina happy, and that's understandable. But long-term wise, would that be sustainable? Will you be able to sacrifice for your Filipina and live out in the boonies out here? It's like, and you all of a sudden you're like giving up all the, the luxuries, the conveniences that you had in the U.S. Now you're living in a remote mountain or a remote area here in the Philippines where they don't even have Wi-Fi. You have to get like Starlink just to get internet. And then, okay, that was. And of course, the last thing I was going to mention is there's a different, you see me, I'm happy, I'm upbeat, I'm upbeat, like I got full of vigor. I love waking up. I love my life. But the thing is, I have family, right? I got Dazzle, I got Mom, I got Leanna. When you come here as a single person, you're pretty much by yourself. So, that's an adjustment. You're leaving when you're leaving the United States. That's why I see the struggle. You're leaving the United States. You at least have friends in the United States. You have family, of course. But when you land here in the Philippines, if you're single, you're really on your own. I mean, you can look at that two ways. To me, if I was in that situation, like when I moved here initially in 2011, I'm not from Aklan province. When I moved here, the only person I knew in Boracay or in Aklan was my landlord. But I'm a pretty extrovert person, as you can see. I can make friends easy. I'm easygoing. I have fun. And, I was 45 at the time. So I'm like super fit. I can hang out with like younger guys. I can ride mountain bikes. I can do things, right? So I knew it wasn't going to be a problem to me to like gain friends and have a life. But, there's some people when they come here, they're naturally not an extrovert like I am. Stevie's a perfect example. Stevie, I've been communicating. He's an introvert. That's why Stevie said, bro, don't film me. I said, no worries, man. Don't have to worry about getting filmed by me, Stevie, because I respect his privacy. And he's here, since he landed, all he's been doing is fishing. Well, he's happy. It's like, for me, that was his plan, to come here, live by the port, live by the beach, fish every day. And he seems happy. I know he's excited about the fishing and all that, but, I'm just worried, like, is that sustainable? Is that, can you live like that for like, 6 months, a year? Is that going to be enough? Is the fishing going to be enough? That's my point. If you're, I think I hear it from some expats that they're bored, when they get here. That's why you gotta really know yourself. You gotta know yourself, like, what are the fun things or before you even get here, have that plan. Like, what are the fun things that you enjoy? Like, I know for JP, I know he loves fishing. I can tell he loves motorbikes because he's so interested about motorbikes. So there's two right there that I know he can do here. So that should keep him busy. And then I think it helps. Like, I know we joke around, hey, Panay Posse, we're all Panay Posse here. But I think it helps that you're going to an area where there's already people there that before you kind of laid the groundwork, right? Edgar's here, Gray's here, Mel is here, Ruben's here, I'm here. So when you land here, at least you got people that, hey man, well, we'll hang out. If on some nights, if you're like, if when JP gets here, he just wants to go out to dinner, or he just wants to go out for coffee. Hey Gino, let's go out for coffee. All right, dude, I'm there. It's good to have that. I know people sometimes feel, when they come here, well, it's like, I don't really want to hang out with expats, but to me, there's so many good expats here, so many expats that have the same thing in common with you, made that leap of faith, made that jump to travel all the way here, start a new life here. You already got that commonality with those expats. To me, it's just natural to get along with them, because you can ask them for advice. Ask him, hey, how'd you get your bank account, or how did that alien ACR card go for you, that tourist visa? They have answers for you that can help you. And most of the people I know here, they're helpful. They want to help people. It's like. There are some, I'm not gonna lie, there are some expats here that even I avoid. It's like even I avoid just because they're not good. They're not good, so I avoid. So I think we're at that age enough. The guys that come here at 50s, 60s, 70s, when they come here, we're at that age enough anyway that we could recognize that, right? It's like, for me, when I recognize something is off with that expat or that even Filipino American that I meet, there's something off, I just kind of like, I don't say anything. I just kind of move away. There's so many good people. I focus on the good people. All right, let me see here. If that was the last on my the struggle. But I think the main thing, if the struggle with the expats, the struggle here in the Philippines, I think the ones that really struggle are the ones that isolate